everyone, I'm Trey Rich, and you are watching The Buzz. On today's show, we have Terry Crews and some of the contestants from this season's AGT. The cast of STARZ' new series, Heels. Then we have Garrett and Nando from FBoy Island. And in our Artist Spotlight, we have Quality Control's Jordan Hollywood. This show's got a vibe, so let's get it started!
Hi, I'm Stephen Amell, and I play Jack Spade on the new STARZ drama, Heels. Let's get buzzed!
Rapper DaBaby has officially been canceled, with fellow recording artists taking down songs he was featured on to all of his festival and concert appearances being cut. Still, with all of that, the rapper is continually being defiant with the recent takedown of his apology off social media to the LGBTQ+ community. He even recently posted on his social media that he was just sitting at home counting his money. Now, when an artist like DaBaby gets canceled, how long does that last? 50 Cent just said in a recent interview that he thinks DaBaby can bounce back from this and references Chris Brown, who after the Rihanna beating and time served, he's thriving. DaBaby needs to chill and ride this out and hopefully learn from his mistakes. I too agree with 50 that in time, we'll be bouncing to DaBaby tracks once again. Starting off the show, we're back at America's Got Talent. AGT is back with its live shows with a live audience, and we're backstage to talk to some of the contestants and Terry Crews to give us all the details.
Hey, this is Danielle DeLate for The Buzz in Hollywood at the Dolby Theatre for the live shows for America's Got Talent. The red carpet's about to start, so let's check it out. Now, tonight was the first live show of the season with an audience present. How was the energy out there?
It was unreal. I thought my head was gonna pop. I thought it was literally gonna blow up because there was a moment, and this is so wild. There was a moment a couple years ago where I actually thought I may never see this again. Because you're going, oh my God, like at first it was a month, and it was 2 months, and then all of a sudden it's a year, and now we're into 2 years. You're like, oh my God, we may never get together again, and here we were, and it just shows that we are progressing. We're not there yet, but we're making steps.
Yeah. And this season has had some incredible talent. So out of all the contestants so far, do you have a couple of favorites you can share with us?
Well, first of all, if you bring in all the contestants, I have to say Nightbird, who was not able to continue, but has continued to inspire so many worldwide. It's absolutely incredible what it's done. And I was just so glad to be able to meet her, to know her, and hopefully we are praying for her speedy recovery. Also, the rest of the Golden Buzzers, when I look at, even tonight, Jimmy Harrod, he sings the songs better than the persons who actually made them. You know what I mean? And then my man Seth Worth, I'm telling you, he's what AGT stands for, because a lot of people feel like they tried out on AGT and, they got X'd out, go home. But he's never went home. He always comes back, which is the greatest life lesson that anybody out there should take from this.
I don't really need to look very much further. I don't want to have to go where you don't follow. I won't hold it back again. This passion inside can't run from.
Peter, your outfit looks incredible. It was just shining up on stage.
Thank you so much. I also loved it. I picked it actually. It's beautiful.
Can you tell me what choices went into your song choice this evening? Because it was a spectacular song choice.
My family and I picked it. It was beautiful. We didn't expect a lot of audience and the judges to have a standing ovation.
Yes. And the audience, did you see them when you first sang the first chorus? They got out of their seats on that first chorus. Did you see that in the audience while you were singing?
Yes. I thought it would be after I sang, but nope, I'm just gonna do this stand ovation. Oh wow, that's amazing.
I'm criticized, but all your bullets ricochet. You shoot me down, but I get up.
You were incredible this evening. I mean, Simon said you sounded like a record. That's pretty amazing. How did it feel to be up there on stage?
It was so much fun. I mean, this is the first time I performed for a live human audience in so long, and Yes, it adds a little bit of nerves, but there's just nothing like performing live. You get such an energy from the audience, and I missed it so much, so it was so fun.
How have things changed for you since the audition that you did? And the audition you did was quite quirky, talking, using the comments from YouTube. I think that's so clever.
Thank you.
How have things changed since then?
Just a lot of people who are really excited to see more of me on this show. People who have been fans for a long time and brand new people who have never heard of me before, which was my hope with all of this. So yeah, it's been really exciting.
What's up, guys? How are you?
I seem to be okay.
That's good. You don't gotta be scared of anything.
Okay.
So I gotta admit, as cheesy as it might sound, my life has felt like a deck of playing cards. A deck that I thought was gonna stick. Very picky. Every time I'm doing an interview and they're asking stuff, I'm like, what can I say? I'm not even able to really tell a story because I can't say anything.
Don't say anything next time, just do tricks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just do performances.
Yes. I know, because I don't know what to expect from this interview at all, because your performance this evening was mind-blowing.
Thank you. It was fun. I think one of the reasons that I got started into magic is because of this exact thing. I actually used to do music full time, and I don't know, it just became one of those things where I feel like sometimes when you're pursuing a career, like it's never enough numbers, it's never enough fans, it's never enough likes. But magic's one of those things, you can just sit with a person at a dining room table, and it's so fun. And so whether it's like a huge stage or just sitting at a table with somebody, it's why I love it. It's those responses, it's seeing the smiles on people's faces, it's incredible.
So how did it feel this evening to be up there on the Dolby stage?
It was incredible. Like, just looking out. First of all, I love theaters. Theater comedy is my favorite. I love all the comics that have performed in theaters. It is my favorite way to do comedy. It is the only way I feel like a lot of comedy should be done, although I love the comedy club. Shout out to them. That's where I get to work. But tonight's epic experience on that stage is one that I will never forget.
And how did you take us a little bit back behind the scenes when you're, thinking about what to put into your act? How do you go through that process? And it's so natural what comes out on stage for you.
Well, I always think of it as like I'm telling a mini story. So it's like this is the next chapter in the story. And then now you get the next chapter. If I get to, if I'm lucky enough and blessed enough to move on to the next level, vote, then you get that next chapter. And I just kind of look at it like that. So it really depends on where I leave off in one set that I'm going to pick up on the next.
I was hoping you'd have the bottom part and we could get you to make the big noise. And...
Yeah, I'll do it. Anything for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's the thing. Can you do it? The whole
Yeah, of course I can do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, here we are.
That's incredible.
You see, that's what the Phoenix.
That in person, that's incredible.
That's right. That was special. Just for you.
Oh, the TV is one thing, but in person is just incredible.
Stop.
This outfit is amazing. How did you come up with this? Who made this?
This isn't an outfit. This is who I am. I am Sethwood, the Phoenix.
It was an incredible night. We got to talk to a lot of the talent. Make sure you go out and vote. And next week, we'll be back with more. I'm Danielle DeLate, and you've just been buzzed.
AGT is on Mondays and Tuesdays on NBC. Check your local listings for times. Stay right there. We have Emerald up next with Garrett and Nando to spill some tea on this season's FBoy Island. We'll be back after this.
Okay.
You've just been buzzed.
Thank you. That was incredible. Oh wait, there's part of it. Do I get? Okay.
I'm falling apart.
How do you text with that?
Women have been forced to tolerate the manipulative douchebaggery of F-boys for far too long. And that's why we're here. Welcome to FBoy Island.
Garrett and Nando, thank you guys so much for stopping by.
Yeah, thank you for having us on the podcast.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
This is exciting.
It's so nice to see you again. I know last time the anticipation was building on the show releasing, but how do you feel that it's out now?
Weight off my chest, honestly. Like, I don't even know how other shows do it with the turnaround times being months and maybe years. Like, ours was 3 months. And I'm so grateful. I really want to see how I am and how everybody else is. And of course, all the things I didn't see, even though I was there.
Yeah, that's true. Because the thing is like when you go into a house with all of these guys, you have 24 guys that are there right off rip. So you have all these alphas that go in and everything like that. And I think the craziest thing is like, again, like what you're saying is like seeing who people were when they were there. And it's like you can understand who everyone else is, but sometimes it's like, wait a second, when you take a look in the mirror, you're like, who am I? So then when you see it played back, you're like, wait, that's what I was saying? Like, I was talking reckless. Like,
I don't even
what?
remember that.
Yeah. And other people, too. Like, when it comes to interviews, there's like, yo, some people had, like, all-star seasons in the interview room, but when they were out there, like, on the floor, it was like, wait, what? Like, this dude, yeah, you sitting on the bench, bro. Like, you on the bench.
Exactly.
Now, we all want to know, first and foremost, what is a boy? Like, what do you guys consider a F-boy, for those who don't know?
I think you should take it away.
Yeah. All right, so I would say there's a couple different types of F-boys. I think for me, the biggest thing, especially being on the show, was like, what I realized on the show was that a lot of times in like my past, like I would like be with someone and then I would just ghost. I wouldn't talk to them. I just like wouldn't like, cause I didn't want to hurt them, but ultimately by me not like telling them like, hey, this is over, this is done, and just ghosting and not answering, like hurts them that much more. So on the show, there's a lot of things that happened to me where I had to confront situations. Also, you're in this experience and you don't have your phone, you can't run away, there's no distractions. So you're put on blast and you gotta face the truth head on. So for me, like, you know, in my past, it was like, you know, when I think of a boy, like I think of someone who just like, where it was for me, it was like, you know, I wouldn't like manipulate or lie to girls in order to like get them to sleep with me, which is like what a lot of people would portray an F-boy as. It was like, I was real with you, but then when it came to the time that I wanted to cut it off, I would just ghost. So, and that's not a good way to do it. And that's not a good way to do it. But, you know, again, like there's other people who like, you know, I think a true F-boy. And again, everyone has their own definition of an F-boy. Like even Anthony was like, no, like for him, it was like, I just like sleep with a lot of girls and that's it. Like, but that's how, like, but for like a true F-boy, like someone that I think is really, really an F-boy, like a fuck-boy, is someone who does lie, manipulate girls, like tell them like, yo, I'm gonna put a baby in you, like I wanna marry you, X, Y, and Z, like does all that type of shit to get what they want, and then again, like they're just kind of like a dick and they move on to the next. And it's like these victims.
The executive producer of the show, who was also one of the producers for The Bachelor, Elon Gale, he had recently stated in an interview that this show, he wanted to show a more realistic and reflective view of our dating culture in 2021. The ghosting, the swiping left, the endless choices. How has it been for dating with you guys, just living in LA and just being a millennial in this time frame?
Dating in LA is very interesting. It's when you stand out anywhere. And you know, there's superstars everywhere, there's gorgeous people everywhere. And when you walk into a room, if you automatically command attention, it's pretty easy. You know, you can do what you want, you can say what you want, and you can leave with whoever you want. And that's just the reality of it, whether you're an F-boy or a nice guy, whether that lasts 12 hours or 2 hours. You know, like it is what it is. And so coming into this situation, we all had that as a background, for so to say. So
well, some of us did. Like people who came from like smaller areas, bro, like no offense, like a lot of them, like they were weak over like some of these girls, and like their game was like, you just see how their real life game is. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. You have 24 dudes go in, you have 3 more guys come in, so there's 27 dudes total. You all come into a house, all alphas, all, you know, everyone thinking that they hook up with the hottest girls, maybe back home in Toledo, Ohio, or like, no offense, Colin and Casey, love you boys to death. But again, that's the first thing that came to my head. But these small towns, and it's like the difference from like those to LA, it's a whole different ballgame. So when you're from LA and you've been out here, I've been out here for 7 years. So like when I see like girls and stuff like that, like for me, it's no problem. Like some of these guys, like bro, they couldn't even talk to the girls. Matt the Rat, like literally, like they didn't even show him talking to girls because he was he was like quivering in his jeans while he was trying to talk to them. Like he was just like sweating profusely. They didn't show any of that. So the guys who didn't get cuts with the girls, it's just because like, again, it was like, yo, you gotta learn how to spit game. You gotta learn how to talk to a girl. You gotta know what they like. Also, I was in a 5-year relationship when I was out here, and that girl whooped my ass. And like, she made me like really be able to, you know, catch any type of girl. Yeah, so it's a different ballgame.
So speaking about Matt, Chris and Matt, how did you guys feel about the way they navigated this competition? Because throwing you under the bus on the way out was intense to watch.
Y'all gotta understand something. During this time process, we had no idea who was snitching. Like straight up off the rip. Colin came back from his date looking like a sad puppy. He went in his room and talked to Jared. He was upset. He didn't want to talk to anybody.
We had no idea.
We had no idea until the show came out what they were actually up to.
Wow.
Yeah, and we knew they were brothers like the whole time. They were just finessing, and like once it came to light at the elimination, it was curtains from there. It was curtains.
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, that's the thing is like I actually didn't talk to Matt or Chris the entire time. And there was someone who actually was, there was multiple people that were scheming against me. Like a lot of people, and I heard this after the show, like a lot of people were like, bro, like everyone wanted you out. Like people thought you were running the show. Like people thought you had like bat phones and stuff like that. And like that the producers like had you on, like stuff like this. So people were scheming against me. I knew that Matt was a off rip. Sheesh. Because I would literally walk up to him and be like, yo, you're a pussy. Like you're a little bro. And he would do nothing. And I knew that, but I didn't know that he had dirt on me from other people circulating information around. And again, the whole girlfriend thing that pops out, it's like, yo, we're in quarantine. Everyone finds people, you have your phone in quarantine. So everyone's sitting there on people's social medias looking at stuff. They see like, you know, a recent photo or something and then immediately, you know, draw the conclusions about certain things.
Matt was wild with it though. He was listing dates, times, comments, captions.
Everything, bro. He was in the comment section of mine and Lauren's stuff. Like, what are you doing, bro?
On set, our jaws were on the ground. And what made it worse was when CJ was like, Casey, is your boy doing that? He was like, huh? What? No.
Casey was a ride or die.
Yeah, but how he did it was like, dude, you could have been way more less sus, bro.
It was
like,
so
just
sus.
Like, nah, bro.
It might have just been how they cut it, but that shit was hilarious.
But Casey was like,
And meanwhile, like, I'm not trying to like put anyone on blast here, but like, yo, half the cast went in there with girls. And no one said anything. Like, that's the thing is like, you could have eliminated me right off rip, but I would have never talked to anyone besides Matt and Chris. But I still wouldn't even bring up if they had girls back home. I don't care. Like, that's not my game. So you know when people don't have game, like, they got to take cheap shots. And when people feel intimidated and stuff like that, like, they're going to, you know, air out your dirty laundry. Like, that's how it's going to be. Little naughty possums over here. But like Chris, I will say this, after running that back and seeing him in the interviews, like, Chris, I don't like you, but like, dude, you had a MVP year in the interview rooms, bro. Like, and you were just annoying, bro. Like, he was just so annoying. It was like, this is good TV. Like, you're annoying,
well,
dude.
what was interesting is seeing the confessionals and seeing like how when they actually were in front of the ladies, it wasn't translating. It was like super confident and super like, I got this. And then in front of the ladies, they were just choking. And it was just like, this isn't correlating.
Yeah. The people who had like good game, like you, like me, like Greg, like Josh, like it was like, no, we didn't have to, like I never had to throw Josh under the bus ever. Like the worst thing I said about Josh was like, yo, he's boring. Like, would you rather take TripAdvisor and Yelp or would you rather come fly the PJ with me? But like besides that, like there was like, it was like those two dudes were so insecure over you and Greg, bro, that they were just like battling it out between each other and like, it was just so sad.
What was funny to me was how they were always like, who's number 1 and number 2?
The entire time, bro. Who cares?
We get to
they don't show any of that, bro. They don't show any of that.
And Nikki Glazer's like, Nakia, who's your top person that you want to save? And she chooses me, and I was like,
wow.
Yeah. The entire time they're like 1 and 2, 1 and 2. We're like, dude, how insecure are you guys? Who cares?
Worrying about another man was definitely a turnoff and definitely distracting from the end goal. So, but there's no doubt that you guys were standouts, and I'm looking forward to see who was the F-boy and who was a nice guy out of the two in the end. And we thank you guys so much for coming on set today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. This is a lot of fun. Hi, my name is Garrett Morosky.
Hey, my name is Fernando Titus.
And you've just been buzzed.
FBoy Island is out now on HBO Max, so check it out. We got a lot more show to go with Quality Control's Jordan Hollywood in our Artist Spotlight. Stay right there.
that's a come up. My chopper just like Timberland, 100-round drummer. How'd you get my number? All these plaques, but with you, I'm a one-hit wonder.
Jordan Hollywood has got himself a banger with his new single Ugly featuring Timberland on a newly flipped Timberland sample. He's up next in our artist spotlight to give us all the details. Let's take a look.
Attitude is ugly. If I love you but can't trust you, then you ugly. You eating but your homie not. That shit ugly. Bass is hitting when it drop. Face get ugly. Run it up, run it up. Take that money and count it up, count it up. Got all the triples.
When I was like 12, I just started like freestyling and like battling and like, I don't know, I was just surrounded by a bunch of people that rapped, and it just came natural, and I just started doing it, and it was fun, and I just started taking it real serious. Everything I do, I take serious, you feel me? So by the time I was like 15, I really started like getting into real studios and, you know, getting around real producers. And I just know how to like, you know, always put myself in a situation. I was doing a lot of songwriting and producing, and Trill, the Sorry for This album was my first album. Once I put that out, like my phone just wouldn't stop ringing. Everybody wanted to work with me, A&Rs and labels, and by 2017 is when I started like, you know, sitting down and actually taking meetings and stuff like that. I was making more money off being a producer and a writer than an artist. But then I was just like, let me just focus on producing and writing for myself. You know what I mean? And it was just bringing more happiness. I was tired of like working with people that I wasn't even fans of and I was getting records to, you know? As a producer, like whoever wants to come by it, and I don't even like this. I'm not even a fan of you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And it just started getting weird. And like I was out in LA a lot, spent a lot of time in sessions, and it wasn't my thing, man. I just wanted to get back home and just lock in.
We're rats exterminate them, truly knowly. You ain't got no ass, it don't move. Ooh. Dirty little.
The Ugly song with Timberland. Yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. And shout out to the legend Timberland. Shout out to Bubba Sparks, man. It was just great, man. Shout out to Skip, my producer that made the beat. He's the one that like, you know, facilitated the whole play, and it was just a beautiful thing, man. And to get Timberland in the booth was special for me, bro. Like it was one thing for him to clear the sample. It was another thing for him to like, you know, be part of the production. But when he got in that booth, it was different, man. That was exciting. So the plan was just to make the beat. So Skip called me. He's like, I'm about to go work with Tim. I want to sample some of his old songs. And I told him like, yo, chill. Like he might take that the wrong way. Like let's pick the right record, you know, because you go in there sampling like some Missy Elliott or like some Justin Timberlake. He might take it offensive, you know. We don't know. We didn't know the guy yet. You know, we didn't know what type of guy he was in person, man. And we were going through his discography and we were just listening to songs, and the Bubba Sparks one was like a low-key hit that he had. It was a smash record, right? It went crazy, but it was still like low-key compared to like some of the other, you know, Cry Me a Rivers and stuff like that, you know? And we made the beat. Skip played the beat for Tim. Tim loved the beat. And once he told me he loved the beat, I just hopped on it immediately. And then it was like, I didn't do ad-libs on the record, so I'm like, yo, let's ask him. Let's just see if he'll do the ad-libs, man, and like hop on and do harmonies on the hook. And he really did it, man. He did it quick, too. He sent it back same day. Like, it was crazy.
Do you work fast too, or does it take you some time to get a song done?
I work real fast. So I get the initial idea down real fast, and then the final song takes some time, right? I've been mixing my album for like the last month every day. When it comes to like mixing and post-production, I really take my time. But the initial idea, you know, the top lines, like the hooks and the verses, like that's real fast for me. I love all my music, you know what I mean? And certain messages at different times, right? I might have wrote a song like 6 months ago and I don't feel that way no more, you know? So I just want to make sure that this project is exactly how I'm feeling today. So when I'm performing it and it's out there, my fans, like it just matches my aura, my energy, you know what I mean? My album's called Only the Paranoid Survive. And at that time, I was probably the most paranoid I've ever been in my life, right? I was a new father, and like anyone that's a new father, they know that feeling of being paranoid of like, am I doing this right? Like, and I couldn't have like my family around either, right? Usually when you have a newborn, you got the grandparents and all of that around, but we got to worry about the grandparents getting sick, and you know, so it was just me, my baby mom, my girl, and my son, and it was just like, you feel me? Wow, it was just real paranoia, and then you got COVID, you got things happening. I was losing loved ones. It was just a lot of like, you know, crazy things going on in my life that just turned me into like a paranoid person.
Now, how was Jordan Hollywood born? How'd you come up with that one?
Man, I used to play football and they used to call me Hollywood, bro. Like I used to step on the field, all the coaches and shit. And then all the kids that I played ball with was at school. They started calling me that, and it just stuck. I feel like the best names are given, you know, not made. I know a lot of artists be using the name generator. bro, on the internet. Like, you feel me? My shit just came and it stuck, man, and it is what it is. But I'm far from Hollywood, though, bro. Like, the rap game has their own little definition for Hollywood, bro. And, like, don't get it twisted, bro, because I'm far from that, bro. I put my people on, bro. I take care of people. You know what I'm saying? I changed a lot of lives, you know what I mean? So I'm far from that. Hey, my name is Jordan Hollywood, and you just been buzzed.
Ugly is out now on all streaming platforms. That's all we have. We'd like to thank Emerald Marie, Garrett, Nando, Terry Crews, AGT, NBC, DaBaby, and Jordan Hollywood. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and double tap us on Instagram, all at Buzz_Access. Before we go, we have Madison at the STARZ Heels premiere. I'm Trey Rich. Love and light to you all.
People need to believe that we can be better. You're a washed-up quarterback who couldn't play in college. I'm a lawnmower salesman. It is not enough for me.
What's up, y'all? I'm Madison Brodsky with Buzz at the premiere of Heels on STARZ, coming to your screens on August 15th. I'm surrounded by cast members right now. Alexander Ludwig is right behind me, and I'm on the heels of asking him a question. Let's get started. First, well, let's talk about this show. I know Steven's a huge wrestling fan, but how much did you know about the sport coming into the series?
I was that kid in Vancouver, Canada, that when I turned on the TV and I saw the WWE, I'd watch it and I loved the characters, but I wouldn't say I followed it religiously. It's certainly become something that I've fallen in love with since this show.
All right, Robbie, the ultimate question here. As a wrestler in the show, how much did you know about wrestling?
None.
None?
Zero.
What fascinated you to get involved in a show that's all about wrestling?
Wow. Well, you know, for me, it was really, once I figured out that wrestling was a lot like theater, I was all in. All in. I come from theater in New York, and I spent 9 years doing theater in New York for no money, and these guys are doing wrestling for no money. And for me, it was really finding that connection where I thought, oh, I understand the passion behind these guys and why they want to be out there on the ring and in front of the crowd. So for me, it was really about that.
Question of the hour. How much did you know about wrestling upon entering into the show?
I did not know a whole lot. I mean, before I auditioned, I definitely started watching documentaries, and before we started filming, I watched documentaries like Beyond the Mat and Dark Side of the Ring, and I grew up, watching it a tiny bit as a kid. I've got 3 brothers, so sometimes it was on in the house, but no one was avid wrestling fans, but I definitely left being a wrestling fan for sure.
I was gonna say, after you started getting into the show, did you start watching the real matches on TV?
Yes, well, first of all, we were filming during COVID, so we were all kind of confined to this bubble and hanging out with everybody in the cast on our days off. And, Stephen Amell is a very big wrestling fan, and so he would always put wrestling matches on, and we would watch them there, yeah, for sure.
As the creator of this wonderful series, what got you into the world of wrestling?
I was a little kid. I don't even know if I remember what got me into it. It was guys beating each other up. So I thought it was awesome. And I've just loved wrestling from the time I was a little kid.
That's so cool. And then you developed this entire story. Did you always dream of another league, I guess you could call, to come about in the world of wrestling?
Yeah, I guess this was my way of trying to compete with Vince McMahon. I was like, wow, wouldn't it be cool? And I couldn't be a pro wrestler myself. And so this is the next best thing.
So you're living through it through your own story.
PWL, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I created my professional wrestling league after all.
So you took your football skills and you came to acting. Why did you want to make that transition?
A challenge. I had horrible stage fright just from talking to people. If you look at my years from 2002 to about 2007, I rarely talked to reporters because I was just nervous in front of cameras. And it became it just became a challenge. It's something that I felt like I would be able to do well. So here we are.
Well, that is very cool. I heard that you were one of the coolest, strongest, and most terrifying in the ring. Why did you want to bring it all? Why did you want to do your own stunts?
Because it was easy.
It was easy?
For me, being an athlete.
For more stories and extended clips, go to theBuzzAllAccess.com. I'm Trey Rich, and you've just been buzzed.